Good evening, guys. Thank you for joining in. We are facing some technical issues, so please bear with us, have patience.
Hey
Hi.
Ashima, okay.
Hi.
Yay!
Is it okay now?
Much better, but I think there is a little bit of that delay and circle that's going around, but I think that's fine. I
Still
think now it seems better. No, I think now it's better. Yeah, yeah. Okay,
okay.
it's connected.
I will be a statue so that it does not happen again.
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
So, how's it going, Suresh? How's everything going?
It's one day at a time here, Ashima. I think I would say it's yeah, pretty much one day at a time, trying to live by and get through with this whole pandemic. I think it's really crazy and it's just kind of surprising everybody every day. So yeah.
Definitely. I hope the same is with everyone. That is, the similar things are going with everyone, I hope. I think.
Well, again, yeah, I mean, I think sitting with a little bit of fortune towards our sides, I think we are able to
Yeah.
kind of, be able to have a roof and, the basic necessities and a job as well to kind of really survive while so many are really not able to do that. So, yeah, I think you're
Right.
fortunate and privileged enough. Yeah.
That's true. That's true. Seeing the brighter side of everything, like being grateful for what we have. Yeah. So, Suresh, would you like to introduce yourself to the viewers, like to start with?
Okay. All right. So, hello everyone. My name is Suresh Ramdas. I'd like to use this something which is new, which is called as pronouns. My pronouns are he, him, his. That's how I'd like to be addressed as well. So, I work in a multinational organization based out in Bangalore for the last 16 years, and basically Tamilian, born in Mumbai, and stayed all my life in Karnataka. So I've been in quite a few places, I can say, and I part of my work, I'm part of training, so I'm more of a facilitator where I stand up and talk, or now it's just sitting and talking to
Yeah.
people. So that is something that I do as a core job. But I think
Okay.
over and above that, I also am part of the diversity and inclusion team. So a little bit
Hmm.
about me, I'm an out and proud gay person who's living in India. And so with that, privilege that I have, I'm trying to go ahead and make the world a better place, especially India and places, for them to go ahead and be a lot more inclusive of the LGBTQ plus community. So that's something that I do out of passion at
Hmm.
workplaces and also outside as well.
Hmm.
So that is pretty much something little about me. Probably you'll get to know as the conversation goes forward.
Yeah, we would definitely love to know more about you. And it's very important, like, it's a very important topic to talk about the LGBTQ community because most of the people have really like a very different or blurred idea of what it is. So it is very important to have the right awareness of what LGBT community stands for and what it is. So I'm sure
Right.
after this live, after the conversation with you, I'm sure that so many whales are going to lift up.
I'm hoping, it's a journey for me as well. And I think, it's going to be a journey for all the viewers as well, just to get to know and understand about the community and more. Yeah.
Right. Suresh, so what are the challenges that you faced in your life, and at what point of time? Like, what were the challenges, and what was the thought process that went through your mind at that point of time?
So I think there were quite a few challenges that were thrown at me from a very young age. I think every teenager or every boy or every kid that grows up, comes up with a lot of issues or at
Mhm.
least challenges, be it with studying, be it with being doing good at home, or being a good kid at home, while versus being a good student at school. For
Mhm.
me, I think the challenges kind of grew a little more in number,
Mhm.
specifically with the fact that, um, you know, as a Tamilian born in Mumbai, raised in Bangalore, I had these some little bit, itsy bits understanding of the, place that I was living in.
Mhm.
But when I came to so when I really started my schooling,
Mhm.
my parents never differentiated me for who I was at home, and my mom's fair, my dad's dark, and I grew up dark, and we never had such sort of issues about skin color.
Mhm.
So I was never having any issues at home, but all of a sudden in school, when I came in, that became one of the big issues in school as I was dark. So I was being bullied a lot, for my skin color.
Mhm.
And that is something that has been very, very strong, etched in my head for a very long time, which I still
Mhm.
struggle at times with, not so much. Now it's getting a lot better and easier. So
Mhm.
that was one of those challenges or struggles that I had was with my skin color. And
Mhm.
then next level or next layer of issue that I had was with the way I my mannerisms and behaviors were very feminine, right? So as a boy
Mhm.
in school, they expected the other like to be the other boys, and you have to be very, manly, or you should not
Mhm.
cry. You should, try and face everything. You should play football. You should play cricket. You should play all the possible, manly games at that point, which was assumed to be, and you're not supposed to get tired. You're not supposed to feel
Mhm.
lazy and all of that. So
Mhm.
while I was all of that in the sense I really wasn't enjoying so much. I really, I did play those sports, but it was not something that I would really like to go forward. Now, there was
Mhm.
another reason also for me to really hate, I wouldn't say hate, but really detest these sports is because it's the same people who used to pull my leg for my mannerisms,
Mhm.
behaviors, saying, calling me all the possible names.
Mhm.
And I had to play with them. That's kind of really, a very,
Yeah.
weird situation to be in. Like, your classmates are calling you names, but then you have to play in that specific team and you have to make sure that the team wins and all of that. So I was like, this really doesn't fit in. So I really
Mhm.
didn't I really tried to avoid that game. But having
Mhm.
said that, I always had a natural interest in sports.
Mhm.
Um, so I started trying my hand on single sports, right? So where I didn't have anybody to play with as a team member. So I picked up tennis, and I really love tennis. I'm a huge tennis fan. I was a tennis player. I was a university level tennis player as well. So that kind of really helped me, channelize or get my frustration released because
Mhm.
I was all frustrated with the, conversation that used to happen in school, people bullying me and
Mhm.
all of that.
Mhm.
And this was one place for me where I could just, hit the
Be
ball with
yourself.
the racket at any speed possible. And whether it goes in or out, I was not bothered. But at that point in time, the frustration was really getting out. So I think I was able to really, overcome in some form. I wouldn't say all the forms, but in some form, I
Mhm.
was able to get my frustration out by, playing these sports. I know, I mean, it's not something for everyone, but I would always say yes, be a little bit, athletic or just do some sport in any form, be it running. I used to enjoy running at when I was in school and all of that. but that also triggered something else in my head at a later point in time where I really don't like running now. But overall, I think those were a few of those challenges which I had at a very young age when I was trying to understand other aspects, but these things really took over, and it kind of, I would say, messed up my, childhood a bit, not bit, a little bit more than that, so yeah, but then somehow I survived that and yeah, moved past all of those obstacles what I had.
That's really great. So, when you went to school, it all started with the your color, the racism that you had to face with the classmates that you were studying with, and then it was the way you were that you were
Right.
bullied by your classmates, and that is
Yes.
really something very brave of you to like find a sport, like not give up on sport because you have to play with those classmates that bullied you, but also find a sport that interests you. So that is something
Right.
really very appreciative. So when did you like after the school, this school ends, and later on when you were like able to understand yourself better. So what were the challenges then? Like after school, when you finally get to understand what life is and what everything is. So what it is that you faced after that?
Well, for me, like I said, I always knew from a very young age with all this that was happening in my life, I knew that, I was different right from start,
Mm-hmm.
get-go, because
Mm-hmm.
my interests were not the same. My, choices, I wouldn't say choices, yeah, but I would say choices as well. My choices in sports were different and all of that, which are not like typical, the regular boys. So I knew I
Mm-hmm.
was different, but I really didn't know what name to give at that point in time because there was no internet available.
Mm-hmm.
And whatever information that was available on print media was not sufficient enough for me to really know. So I always grew up with this confusion that who am I?
Mm-hmm.
Then when I came to college is when I really got access to internet and I was able to really understand and get to know. So I did a little bit of research online to kind of find out are there anybody like me? Because all through this while I had never met anyone like me. So I was always thinking, oh my God, why am I the only person in this world? Why did God make me like this as the only
Yeah.
odd person out kind of thing?
Mm-hmm.
So when thanks to internet, I was able to really figure out, and I got to know. I word the heard gay as or homosexual as something online internet.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, oh, that's interesting. So I really didn't. Then got to see that there are so many other people in the world. So for
Yeah.
me at that point in time, I felt a little relieved that, hey, I'm not the only odd person out. There are many people like me as well who are there in
Mm-hmm.
this world. So
Mm-hmm.
that brought a sigh of relief. But at the same time, I wanted to meet people and understand and, just share some of those things that I had in my mind for such a long time where I couldn't share that with anyone. So
Mm-hmm.
I think that was again a very interesting point in my life. But I think the biggest turning point was when I came out to myself. I think that was the first step of me coming out to myself. I know a lot of the straight people really don't have to come out because it's so out there. But for me, at that point in time, that was different, and there was a name given to that being different as well. I was able to then say, all right, Suresh, now, with all the information that you've gathered, you are homosexual, you are gay. And when
Mm-hmm.
I was able to say that, I felt so nice. And again, the sigh of relief and, the acceptance, the self-acceptance. I know that there's going to be a lot more issues now, challenges that's going to come through, but I think that self-acceptance of who you really are and, accepting like, yes, this is who you are, and that is absolutely fine to be who you are, right? So I think that was one of those key changing points in my life was coming out to myself, which is not that very easy, but at the same
Definitely.
time, when you do that, there is
Mm-hmm.
this sense of acceptance, there is sense of self-worth that kind of keeps coming in.
Right.
So I think, yeah, for me, I think that was one of the important phases of my life that I would
Mhm.
say, which was critical and important.
That's very rightly said. Like self acceptance is the step to like that is the first step that you take towards any change that you would like to
True.
build in the world or anything like within yourself, or whether it is the peace that you want with yourself. So yeah, self acceptance is
Right.
definitely the first step.
Yeah, yeah. I think be it with anyone, I think, everybody is different, right? So there is no,
Yeah,
there are similarities, but everybody is unique in their own way. I think
definitely.
accepting that uniqueness, I think is very, very
Hmm.
important. Now we are
Right.
in a world where we are boxing people, like who look similar or
Hmm.
who have to be similar, and then only you're accepted. Now
Yeah.
I think it's all about celebrating the uniqueness, right? Accepting that,
Hmm.
yes, this is who I am, and going with that. I think that's very, very important and very key. But that also
Hmm.
comes from a place of, rejections and non-approvals from other people.
Yeah.
When the society or by large everybody else are not approving of who you are, I think that's when your self-acceptance plays so much more important role. That moment you accept
Truly.
yourself, and it takes you to a whole different level altogether. And then
Yeah.
all these other people look like, okay, all right, you're just another bunch of human beings here who are
That's
there.
right. That's right. So, with self acceptance, definitely the fight with the self that is going on that like comes at peace. So, there is only one fight that left is with the people who are unboxing, like the
Right.
who are not accepting the uniqueness. So, yeah, that is very well said. So, Suresh, if I ask, like when you disclosed the homosexuality to your friends and family, what was their response, and how did you deal with that?
um So I came out first to my friends. I, for some reason, never thought that I should come out to my parents at that point in time. So I was not, I was very much in the closet.
Hmm.
And I came out to my best friend in college. So he was the only person in college that I came out to. No, I mean, like initially.
Hmm.
Um, I think, it's a make or a break deal. I think at that point in time as well, when you're coming out to somebody the first time, I
Hmm.
think your first time experiences always have a lasting experience, is what people say, be it with anything.
Hmm.
So for me, coming out was, I think I was quite fortunate enough to have this friend with me who was very understanding.
Hmm.
And, his initially, I mean, a quick 30-second update was I came out to him because he was very well known in the college, but we hit it off as good friends, right? So we used to hang around so
Hmm.
much that, we really enjoyed each other's company. And,
Hmm.
I had to tell him this, that, hey, you know what? This is who I am. I know you're the college stud, but I'm a person who likes guys, and I'm
Hmm.
gay, and this is who I am. Because by that time he already had a girlfriend, and
Hmm.
I felt that I was not being honest with her, because he was being honest with all his stories and gossips, and
Yeah.
his girlfriend issues and all of that, and I'm here lying something very, very important about me. When I
Hmm.
told him, I didn't give him an opportunity to speak much. I was just rambling away, and I told him, you know what, if you feel that it's not right, let's not go ahead and continue the friendship. It was been a good run. Let's I really respect your decision. I don't want you to mess up your image because of me and all of that. And I just
Hmm.
walked off and avoided him for a couple of days. And
Hmm.
one of the days he barged in and he was like, what the hell is wrong with you? Why do you have to bring our friendship on the line? I understand that you have, everybody has a type of person that they would love to be with, right?
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
as a person, he said that, as a person, I like heavy women, and, There are others who like, people who have longer hair, short hair, tall, short, medium, whatever it is, right? Everybody
Mhm.
has somebody as a partner to be in their head. Yours
Yeah.
is completely different, right? Which is, but then still, it's absolutely fine for, your choices. Never ever bring a friendship on the line because of this. I wouldn't never really like that. So I
Mhm.
think with that, somehow our friendship got really strong. And at the same time, his acceptance for who I am was really, I think the key process element of that was he accepted me for who I was. So for me, I
Mhm.
think that was so very important and so very critical that after him, I did come out to a few others. And even with they not accepting it, I didn't give a rat's ass, to be honest. I said, you know what, to hell with y'all. I have my best friend here right with me, and he accepts me for
Mhm.
who I am. I really don't need to care about anybody else. So I think that
Mhm.
gave me that extra courage and extra motivation to kind of really face the world as well. And
Right.
then coming to my parents, it was a challenge. I was all through my life, I think until my 30s, I was very much in the closet for my parents. And I
Mhm.
thought that, I really don't need to tell them
Mhm.
because it is not the right time. And I can always try to, get away with the whole marriage thing.
Mhm.
And, even my parents were looking for girls, not that they
Mhm.
weren't. But even the horoscopes are not matching.
Okay.
That time they would say कुंडली तो match करना चाहिए 9 से 10
Mhm.
गुण तो होने चाहिए types and all of that. So my kundlis
Right.
also were not matching. So I was telling my mom, you know what? See, even God does not want me to get married, and this is really not my thing, and I really don't want to do that. So the mom was
Mhm.
like, no, no, सबके लिए एक कहीं ना कहीं तो है types. Like there's somebody there for somebody across, and we need to
Right.
wait and watch, and we need to search for that person and all of that.
Mhm.
Finally, they found a girl, and by that time I was very clear. I was 2000% gay, and I was like, you know what? I can never get married to a girl.
Mhm.
Again, the reason being that, you know, I cannot mess up a girl's life for no fault of hers.
Yeah.
Right? For me,
You're
I
right.
think that was very, very important. And my parents also taught me to do the right thing. No matter how difficult your paths are ahead, but do the
Mhm.
right thing. Maybe now people will not understand, maybe they will understand later. So for me, I think that
Mhm.
was some of those core values are very strong. You shouldn't mess up somebody's life, or you shouldn't, do something wrong to somebody else, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
Knowingly, never do that. Unknowingly, you do it and then you ask forgiveness and move on and get past that and all of that. So for me,
Mhm.
in a society where boys have always a upper hand, right? Their
Mhm.
decision of
Yeah.
saying yes, even if marriage also, if the boy says yes, the girl most of the times has no say in that because the boy said yes, and then then the parents take over and then they say, "Ha, chalo kar lenge
Mhm.
shadi" types. The girl is nowhere. Why should I mess up a girl's life for no fault of hers? And she comes with these
Mhm.
expectations that as a boy, I'm going to love her for who she is. Now, imagine if that goes the other way around, how bad that she would feel for no fault, right? So I
Right.
said, you know what, I can never do this to another person. And when my parents found a match, I said, oh my God, now I have to really come out to them. And I did come out to them.
Mhm.
So it was not an easy conversation that we had,
Mhm.
but I had to put my foot down in certain places
Mhm.
and tell them, hey, this is what it is. I know you've told me to always be, honest and do the right thing. I'm doing the right thing now when the time is really required. Correct? I'm
Yeah.
stepping up and I'm doing the right thing.
Mhm.
So my parents were like, no, this is not right. Shadi kar lo, and then sab kuch theek ho jayega and all of that. I said, you know what? After the age of 30, you know who you really are, right?
Yeah.
Majority, again, I'm not going to
Mhm.
speak for everyone. So majority of them know who they really are. And as a person, I know who I really am, and this
Mhm.
is what I want and this is who I want to be and stuff like that. It didn't really settle well with them. They were upset, they were angry, like society kya bolega, all of those conversations came in.
Yeah.
But I said, you know what, this is the right thing to do. I know you may not like it now, but in the long run, you will see the benefits and the reason why I'm doing this.
Mhm.
So even now they have a little bit of difficulty
Mhm.
in understanding and really digesting this fact, which is absolutely fine because I took close to 20 years of my life to understand who I am and what it really means to be who I am today. My
Mhm.
parents in the age of 50s and 60s, or 60s and 70s, it's not
Mhm.
easy to go ahead and change a mindset, right?
Yeah,
So it is
right.
slow and steady. It's slow and steady, and I'm there with them. They are with me, they're staying with me, and all of that. So, I'm leading my life the way I want to. I'm happy, and they get to see that as well, appreciate that
Mhm.
as well. And I think somewhere down the line, they do seem that, yeah, okay, maybe Suresh knows he has figured his life and what he wants to
Mhm.
do. So it's not easy, it's still difficult. Thanks to relatives, right? They always come back
Yeah.
and say, Shadi kab hoga Suresh ka? So with that conversation, yeah, it does get a little difficult, but
Mhm.
I'm able to manage that now. Yeah.
That's really wonderful. Like, yeah, it's understandable, and that is also really appreciative of you that you understand and give your parents also some time to like understand this thing that you also have taken your time to understand. So it is very important because what happens is people have a very strong mindset related to this. And
Yeah.
when there's some strong mindset, it definitely needs some change, like time to change.
Right. Right.
So yeah, it is important to give that time.
Yeah, but I think also the other important fact is I think parents, especially Indian parents, always think that they know what is the best for their kids,
Yeah.
right? So moment they see some kid going away, than what they assume their kid to be, they always think that they need to step in and do the right thing.
Hmm.
Now they don't give their kids to really breathe, no matter how much
Mhm.
of troubles and issues they have gone through in their life, the struggles that they've
Mhm.
gone through, they will never talk about it during this point in time. Um,
Mhm.
but always they feel that it is their responsibility to bring their child up a certain way. They don't let the
Mhm.
kid to flourish the way they want to flourish, right?
Yeah.
So for
Right.
me, I always, feel that yes, moment you say that you want to do something different or you want to be, somebody else, or this is who I'm not, they're like,
Mhm.
nee, there's something wrong with you. You are going astray. You don't have the right company of your friends. And you know what? This is what I'm going to do. I think they're trying to test as a person as well. Are you really sure of who you are? Or is it just that,
Mhm.
wavy mindset that most of the teenagers are in, which is a mindset that the elders have. That,
Mhm.
teenagers are always wavy. They're never sure of anything.
Mhm.
Aaj ye bolenge, kal kuch aur bolenge type. So
Mhm.
because that is also been so much promoted in social media, in your television, in your serials and all of that. Like
Mhm.
आज तो मैं डॉक्टर बनूंगा, कल मैं टीचर बनूंगा, परसों मैं एस्ट्रोनॉट बनूंगा. With
Mhm.
that being there, they always say, okay, बच्चा सही नहीं सोच रहा है. So let's go ahead and give him a path. And that
Mhm.
becomes in a very aggressive way,
Hmm.
right? But I
True.
think, and also, we as individuals need to be very firm and strong in who we are. Now, if we
Hmm.
let them go ahead and take us in a direction that they want us to, then they'll say,
Mhm.
"Ha, hum log sahi kar rahe hain." Because this
Mhm.
is what you want to do, and you don't have a sense of direction. So we're giving you direction,
Right.
right? So I think at some point we need to also tell our parents. Again, it does not come easy.
Mhm.
It definitely
Definitely.
does not come easy for a lot of them to put their foot down, or talk in front of their parents about things that are going to be difficult to have conversations
Mhm.
with.
Right.
But I think if you want to, you have to do it. We do this in school, we do this in other places, but why not at home? But I think where the biggest friction happens is when we start becoming a lot more aggressive because we are teenagers, or we have
Mhm.
the hot-blooded people. We tend to
Right.
say words soon. But I think during this time is when we really need to take a step back and understand,
Mhm.
who is it that we are really having a conversation with? If
Right.
they don't really understand, then we need to take that effort to understand. Yes, I know, it is not fair on us that we have to educate everybody else, but then the situation is that we have to educate. How much can we
Right.
really do that? I think is again dependent on every individual. Not everybody wants to be educated. They said, you know what, you're grown-ups, you better need to know all of this. And your
Right.
son, you need to know your son well. I mean, your kid well. I can't say son all the time, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you need to understand your kid, and if your kid is going through something, try and figure it out yourself. Which also goes back to the onus on the parents as well, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which is
Mm-hmm.
important, and they need to do that. But Indian scenario नहीं होता है ये सब कुछ,
Yeah,
most of the
true.
time. So so it becomes a little difficult, and yeah, we should try and educate as much as possible.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that's ongoing process that I'm going with my parents.
Yeah, and it definitely, yeah, as you have said, that it definitely takes a lot of patience to deal with Indian parents, as they have, like, they know the best for their kids, like whatever they are thinking,
Yeah,
they are the best. And there are few parents that listen, that actually listen to what the child is saying. And yeah, that is,
true.
but yeah, again, as you also have said, that they also have their reasons, and we also have to understand them, what they are saying and why they are saying so. So,
True, and also if you see everywhere else, also be it in television, which majority
mhm.
of them have so much access to, what are they really showing? They're showing heteronormativity everywhere. There is no
True.
traces of homosexuality anywhere. So
Right.
with this being ingrained in the mindset for decades and generations, it is bound that that's the thought process that people are going to have. Ki, yes,
Mhm.
son means he's going to get married to a girl, daughter means get married to a boy, and then, okay, the family continues. Everybody thinks that
Yeah.
moment you're born as a son, you're supposed to take your family generation forward. If it's a daughter, then you have to take somebody else's family generation forward. End of day, that's how it works. And
Right.
you live, you die for your kids,
Hmm.
right? So I think yeah, I mean, that's how movies are also shown. That's how even TV serials run for
Right.
years is because of that, right? So I
Mhm.
think there has to be some sort of change in that aspect. But yeah, I think
Mhm.
it's slowly happening, and hoping that it's going to change in time to come because the youngsters today are quite, well aware of what's happening
Mhm.
around the globe, thanks to internet
True.
again, right?
Yeah.
And your whole globalization that's happening. They're going abroad to study. They're getting to learn a lot. So I'm for sure, I'm hopeful that things are going to change. But until then, the ones who are here need to, I think, educate and fight it out for the future generations and the current one as well.
True. Very true. So yes, as you said, that it is slowly, the awareness is actually increasing, with the Bollywood movies also coming up with the awareness, like movies which promote awareness of homosexuality. So this is also one thing. And also few days back, I saw a story of one of my friends, and it was like ICSE board English textbook of, I think, sixth standard has
Yes,
introduced
yeah,
this,
yeah,
like in this section of types of families. So it was really
yes.
refreshing to see that.
It is very refreshing to see that, but I would have been in either state board or central board. ICSE is again a little bit for an elite class. I would say
Yeah,
not
of course.
everybody gets an opportunity to do that, right? If it was introduced in the
Mm-hmm.
state boards, which majority of the people are studying in, being in government schools and colleges, and your state-owned schools and colleges, right? So
Mm.
that would have been a game changer. But I'm
Yeah,
happy, it is happening, but
yeah.
it's happening at a place and a pocket where probably they're
Mm-hmm.
already aware of all of this. It's
Right,
just another way of reintroducing that conversation educational wise because they have access to internet, maybe the parents are talking about it and all of that, so
right.
it's very much visible.
That's
But
right.
yeah, I would be happy to see this coming down to state board courses and saying these are the
Mm-hmm.
different types of families. It'll be fun, it'll be good. Yeah.
Yeah, true. Let's hope that ICSC be the stepping stone and other boards also
Yes,
get inspired from it. So
true.
also, like what I experienced with it, like one of my cousin, she is in sixth standard, and her textbook has this word gay. So she asked me, I was teaching her English. So she asked me, the what is gay? Gay क्या होता है?
Hmm.
So I don't know. This question made me feel that it is my responsibility to give her the right information, so that she grows up to be like accepting and not differentiating between the communities. So that was also something that, like generation, like our generation, who are a little bit open-minded than the generations that is our ancestors. So I think it is our responsibility also, whether we belong to or we like appreciate the community, to also like give the right information to the coming generation. So that is also something that we at our level can do.
Which is very true. I think we all need to take that, responsibility in our own ways to educate people who we can.
Hmm.
But I think it's very important. I always kind of say something good and then I'm like, I'm using but. But it is important to know for a fact that we give the right information. I mean, so educating somebody about the word gay is essential, but also we should not add our own, biases towards it, saying that, yes, this is what it is to be gay, but you
Hmm.
shouldn't be gay or you shouldn't do this.
That
It's
is
not right. It's
hmm.
not good. लोग
Hmm.
होंगे बाहर के लोग या पूरी दुनिया में लोग होंगे पर तुम मत हो जाना.
Hmm. That is also very
So
important.
we always kind of compare ourselves with everybody else. Like, I keep talking about this, for a fact that stop comparing your kids, and this has to stop in TV serials. शर्मा जी
Hmm.
का बेटा, कपूर का बेटा और उसका बेटा, उसकी बेटी को देखो ला मार्क्स इतने ले आते हैं और तुम यहाँ पे देखो 10 साल पड़े हुए हो types, So I think it's time for us to move from that conversation to say, all right, so what is your skill set? What are you really good at? Now let's start
Hmm.
working on that. If you start comparing everybody to be there, our 5 fingers in our hand are not the same. How can you expect people to be the same?
True.
Right? So for me, I think it's so important that stop comparing and start nurturing everybody's unique talents that they have. I think that
Right.
is so important, and that's why we get caught in this rut of MBA and MBBS या engineering करो. बाकी जैसे कि कुछ है ही नहीं दुनिया में. It's either
Right.
engineering or doctor. इसके अलावा कुछ बनोगे तो कोई हैसियत नहीं है types, So
Right.
I think it's time to really move on. And I think that's when you see a lot of people, because of that mindset and thought process, they're pretty frustrated in their lives right now because they've been told what to do. But now you see a lot of them kind of getting out of their comfort zone in the sense of what they really love. They're trying out their
True.
passion. Now you see a lot of folks who have joined IT, they've slogged it
Mhm.
out for X amount of years, and they said, oh my God, I already feel burnt out, but I still have my life. What are my
Mhm.
passions? People are like driving and seeking their passions. What is it that I'm really
Right.
good at? And then they make that career switch as well because they say, hey, this is my passion, but this
Mhm.
doesn't feel like work. I
Right.
am I'm doing my passion and I'm really gaining some monetary benefits out of it. So why not?
Mhm.
So
Like
I think
enjoying
that's
what you
how
do.
you enjoy what you do. And
Yeah.
I feel a lot of them are really getting there, right?
Mhm.
The current generation kids are being, given the opportunity to explore and find out what is it that you're really good at, what is it that you want to
Mhm.
do. So I feel that the education system in some form,
Mhm.
again, private educations are really doing that. The government side educations are really not, empowering and letting people be themselves. They're just saying
Mhm.
study, 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 but don't nurture their true talent, right?
Right.
So I feel there is a change, but again, that
Mhm.
change is happening only among the privileged people or the privileged
True.
kids, right? Not
Right.
everybody gets that opportunity.
Mhm.
But I still feel there is time and there will be a place for this change as well to happen. And I
Mhm.
feel that starts from having a mindset where people have that fixed mindset, like, this is
Mhm.
how it's supposed to be going because salon se aise hi chala aa raha hai. I think
Mhm.
that needs to change, and we need to kind of get rid of people like that as well, be it in
Right.
any forms. All the
Mhm.
people or position in power, if they have that specific fixed mindset, I think it's time to
Mhm.
move on, find other
Mhm.
people who have an attitude of growth mindset, wherein they look at what is it that we need to do to grow, how do we really
Mhm.
get people to grow together and all of that. So
Mhm.
yeah, I mean that's how it really goes on. Sorry, I talk a lot.
No, actually, it's really good to know all these things, and I hope the viewers are also enjoying it and also learning and understanding what needs to be understood. So, like, it is basically starts with getting clear what you want, who you are, and everything, and then accepting all those things, and then
Yes.
communicating in a right way, right?
Yeah.
So, so if I ask, like, how like if we talk about this thing in detail, like a little bit in detail, like what is the mindset of people towards LGBTQ community?
Um, the mindset as of now is that it's a sin.
Hmm.
It is unnatural. It is
Hmm.
dirty. It is pathetic.
Hmm.
It does not deserve to be in our country. It is not part of our culture. It is a Western mindset.
Hmm.
So this is what the thought process of a lot of them have about the LGBTQ plus community.
Hmm.
But all I would tell all the people who are watching, and if you all are going to have conversations about this, I would
Hmm.
ask everybody to urge everybody to go look at their history books. Go back
Hmm.
and look at your mythologies as well. I know mythology is also something written by people in power and people in position of high position and power. But
Hmm.
now, for them to bring that relatability, go back and
Hmm.
read your Puranas, Upanishads, and all of that. Nowhere have they condemned anybody for the, the people that they love.
Hmm.
There has been homosexuality, there has been bisexuality, there has been, heterosexuality as well. They have celebrated everybody right
Hmm.
from early age. Now, across the world, that's how it has been. There was
Hmm.
this one nation that really came through and started conquering everybody else. They brought that mindset that homosexuality is a sin. And those are the Britishers and the so-called white people. I would say
Hmm.
that. Right? So they brought that whole mindset that homosexuality is a sin, trans people or transgender community is really bad. But if you go
Hmm.
back to our mythology, we
Hmm.
had people dragging. We had, Arjuna dragging and cross-dressing during their Vanvas, right? We have a lot of information about Shakuni. We have
Hmm.
Shiva, Parvati becoming one and called Ardhanarishwar,
Hmm.
right? So we have celebrations of trans people in our country. Our country
Hmm.
is the only country in the world which really has given the trans people a recognition as well. Though it is not the right recognition for as per the law, but we
Hmm.
have given them that recognition as a third gender, which is again questionable and debatable, but we
Hmm.
have recognized them. That means, and also the trans community, the Hijra community, they have been running years and decades before for their survival. So they know that there is this community, right?
Hmm.
So with India being
Hmm.
there, we have really understood and accepted people for who they are, right? So
Right.
it has never
Hmm.
been that it is something, out of the West and it's come down to India. So know
Hmm.
your history and know religion. If no religion condemns homosexuality, they always say love a person for who they are.
Hmm.
Give them love. Give them love and, guide them the right way. But having said that, guiding whatever you think is right is not always right, correct?
Right.
So no religion has ever condemned that. Homosexuality is a sin is again a made up process, right? If
Hmm.
you look at
Hmm.
it, and even in Hinduism, so definitely it's never written anywhere. I mean,
Hmm.
even the marriages also said about a union between two people. It's never spoken about a man and a woman as well. If you go back to the actual scriptures,
Hmm.
I would always tell people to go to Khajuraho. We are the land of Kama Sutra. We told people how to have sex
Hmm.
in that place as well.
Read as
The kind of
okay.
yeah, sorry, I just got a call. I had to cancel. So
No
even in
problem.
Khajuraho temple, also, if you see, there are descriptions and display of people in various forms and various acts. So we did
Hmm.
celebrate. You know, somewhere down the line, somebody came and said it's wrong.
Hmm.
And they told us that it's wrong for 200 years. And that has gone for generations. 200 years, imagine
Right.
Britishers living in India, and how many generations have gone past, and they made us feel bad about our own culture and our own thoughts. But
Right.
somewhere down the line, it's our fault also because we didn't change. We didn't go back to what we really believe in and structure in and all of that. So, with that, I think the mindset is changing definitely, but it's slow and steady, right?
Hmm.
We need to make that conscious effort to tell people what it is not. I know everybody thinks moment you say LGBTQ, or it's either Chakka, Hijra, and all of those
Hmm.
name comes out, right? Yeah, good,
Hmm.
Meetha, all those kind of words come out. But you need to understand that, you know, nothing is black and white. There are shades of gray.
Hmm.
There are no
Yeah.
zeros and ones. You have a range as well in that, we are not coming into the form of um, just as zeros and ones. We are not
Hmm.
binaries. We are
Yeah.
non-binaries. We are a spec. Even shades of color also don't kind of come together in the same form, right? So it is very important and critical for people to really know that, understand, learn about us. LGBTQ
True.
plus is also, yes, lesbian, gay, bisexual, trans, queer. You also have intersex community, the people who are intersex as well to really part of this, right? So yes, we are an underrepresented community. Again, we are just 13%
Hmm.
of the population's, I mean, the total world's population, 13 on a rough
Hmm.
estimate.
Hmm.
So, yes, our volumes and our conversations have to continue, go forward, and they have to be spoken.
Yeah.
Who are out,
That is it.
who are out, need to take that opportunity and the responsibility to, have those conversations with people and really take the conversations forward by educating a lot of them.
That's really important and something that is also
All right,
very
so I'm not saying now.
yeah,
If
I can.
people who are
It is
watching,
also
can you all
buffering.
post your
I think I lost you. I'm unable to hear you, and it is buffering. So, audience, can you let us know whose network is it? Is it mine or I think there was network issue. Let me try. Sorry for the network glitch, guys. Please have patience. I think there is some network issues at Suresh's end. So let's wait for him. By the time, if you guys have any questions, you can type it out. And once Suresh joins in,
Hello. Hey. Sorry about that.
Really, no problem. Okay. So, is it
I don't know what
audible and
happened.
visible? Yeah, I can see you. I think it is still buffering. Hmm. Have a bit more patience, guys. Might still take few more minutes. Yeah, he is back.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I don't know what happened. Some network issues, I guess. Yes.
No problem. So we have few questions from the audience. So we will just wrap up with this conversation as fast
Okay.
as we can. So, Suresh, what do you think like mental health professionals can play a role in someone who is trying to accept himself or trying to come out to friends and families, and what role a mental health professional can play?
Um, to be honest, I never had that opportunity, but yes, I mean, to meet a mental health professional, but I think my friends were my professional help in some sort, I would say, in that example. But I
Mhm.
think now it becomes even more important and critical for mental health professionals to play a very, very important role
Mhm.
because now there is this conversation happening. Yes, your your medical institutes have gone ahead and called it out that homosexuality is not a disease, so
Yeah.
it is natural. So with that conversation or with that intent, I think the next steps are getting all the medical people, the doctors, nurses, all being aware of it. And it's very,
Mhm.
very important for mental health professionals to really, really know a lot
Mhm.
about the community. We do have quite a few mental health professionals who are supporting the LGBTQ plus community with an understanding about who they are, where they're from, what's all of this coming through and all of
Mhm.
that. They play such a critical role. I know in India, mental health problems are really laughed on, and they said, suck it up, be a man, especially for men, right? Suck it up,
Mhm.
be a
Yeah.
man, you know, try to get rid of all these issues. ये mental wealth, ये mental wealth कुछ नहीं है, सब दिमाग का, it's all in your mindset and thought process. So
Mhm.
I think now we need to start talking about it. If you see in the West, they do are very open and very honest that every person has a counselor right from school.
Right.
Be it with
Mhm.
career counseling, be it with mental health professionals, they are there. If you're going through certain issues, come talk to us and let's see how we can, come and help you get better. Right? It's not about
Mhm.
giving a direction. You find what is right for you, and we are here
Right.
to support and take that conversation further. It's not about solving, but it's about making you realize what is best for you. I think that's what mental
Mhm.
health professionals should do. And
Mhm.
it's all about understanding and really getting to know the core with the without
Mhm.
or whatever biases that a mental health professional has, that should really
Mhm.
not come out to
Mhm.
the counselee that is coming or seeking help. So
Right.
now we are in that situation where the awareness is slowly growing. We do
Mhm.
have a lot of LGBTQ plus friendly counselors or psychiatrists across India. It's
Mhm.
all about getting more people, and
we need, especially during COVID, has been so difficult on everyone. It has become
Mm-hmm.
even more difficult for people from the community because everybody have been asked to go back to their homes, right?
Yeah, right.
So a
Mm-hmm.
lot of them moved out of their homes because it was a very homophobic environment. Now that
Mm-hmm.
they have to come back to that homophobic environment, it is very difficult. A lot of them are going through a lot of mental health problems, be it with bullying, harassment, even getting violent, because some of them are really not able to be their, they're not allowed to be their true self,
Mm-hmm.
right? So when they
Yeah.
get to know all of this, there is a lot of issues, and I'm also trying to help as much as possible to connect them with various mental health professionals,
Mm-hmm.
counselors, to see what they can really do at this best of times. Yeah.
Right. So, like, to paraphrase it, like a professional's role is to like provide a safe space for the person to explore themselves, right? So, okay, great. So,
Yes.
any last message you would like to convey to the viewers?
Last message, or the message that I would tell all the viewers and people watching this, is everybody is unique. Celebrate uniqueness.
Hmm.
Never undermine anybody's talent. Everyone is talented their own way. Find that out. It is, I think, to nurture and help and support, right? So,
Hmm.
be it with parents, be it with grandparents, be it with the youngsters currently,
Hmm.
every human being is unique. Realize that, and then celebrate that uniqueness. So with that, I think, yeah, I would just leave it at that and let people sit back, digest, and understand that. So that's what I
Hmm.
would say.
Yeah, that is a very good and very important message to celebrate uniqueness. That's
Yes.
really great.
Thank
So,
you.
let's take, there are few questions in the chat section. So, let's
Okay.
take questions.
Okay.
Um, First question is, I'm a cross dressing since childhood, love wearing female dresses in privacy. Please guide me. I'm not open in society and family.
All right. Thank you so much
All.
for sharing and being so honest about it. And all I would say is that find the strength and courage within you to really take this forward. Also, having said that, it's really okay if you don't have to come out as well. It's absolutely okay. Don't feel pressure to really come out. If you feel it's right, and if you feel that it is helping you get better, do it. If it's not, if you can be in the closet, live your life comfortably, that's absolutely fine. It's an individual choice, so you need to make the choice: do I need to come out or not? And if you
Hmm.
come out, yes, think of the environment that you are in. If it's very extremely homophobic, think many times. You have to have a backup plan as to what's going to happen if it's going to go the wrong way, right? So
Hmm.
have a set of friends who are going to support you, and during times of any troubles, they're there to kind of help you out. Find that space, find that network, and then if you feel it's really going to help you out, then do that, and break yourself from all the shackles that people really have. But
Hmm.
please think about the environment that you're in, and then take that decision.
Hmm. Well said. Um, Second question is also similar. I want to come out to my parents about my sexuality and I'm afraid.
Uh, I know, thanks to you for that. It's not easy. It is quite difficult. For people who want to come out again, I would recommend another suggestion is that please be financially independent as well. If you're
Hmm.
working, great, have some savings so that if your parents also decide to disown you, you shouldn't have any hard feelings. Um, If you're not, then find allies, find friends, find somebody in your relatives or your family, your family friends, your cousins, who you think can be supportive, right? So build that network of allies and supporters, so that when the time really comes, they will come and show their support to you. So I think it's very important for you to find that out as well. um, Focus on finishing up your studies. That's very important, because to be financially independent, you need to be educated, you need to have your degree. But even if it's not that, and even if you feel that this is going to be a big struggle which you don't want to go through, that's absolutely fine as well. Reach out to your local NGOs which are supporting LGBTQ plus community issues. Talk to them, find out what is it that you can do. Take a well-informed decision before you really jump into this. It is a life-changing event. You know, when we go ahead and decide what car to buy or what bike to buy, we do so much of checking. We go to various websites, look for information, we compare all information possible, and then make that choice. Now, even when we are planning to come out, I think it's very necessary that you have a holistic understanding of your environment. Find people who are going to support you, be somewhere independent in your own ways, and then make that choice, and then take that decision.
Right. Okay. So the third question that a person has asked, that is also something that you have already covered, but it is up to
Okay.
you that if you would like to repeat it. So the
Okay.
question is, did your family accept when you spoke about your preferences? Like,
Initially, no.
hmm,
Initially, no. They're struggling yet to come to terms with it. But having said that, I have a partner. My parents know about my partner. They know that I do a lot of these events and conversations for the LGBTQ plus community people, and they know what I'm doing. Do they accept it wholeheartedly? I don't think so, because they're still very concerned about what society is going to really do, right, or say. For
hmm,
them, I think for my parents, it's even more a bigger thing. कि हमारे जाने के बाद क्या होगा सुरेश का? So what's going to happen to Suresh after we are gone? Who's going to take care of him? Who's going to feed him? Because for them, their mindset was brought up that only a woman can take care of a man, right? No
hmm,
matter what happens. So they are
yeah,
of that mindset. So for their mindset to change, that it can be two men or two women or anybody,
hmm,
who can take care of themselves, or even if you don't have to be in a relationship, right? So even if you're
hmm,
single, can you take care of yourself?
right.
I think that's where the conversation really needs to go. So they are still not completely there, but I think they will get there someday. So, but I know that they're happy for what I am and who I am and what I'm doing. So I can see
Hmm,
that in some of the places, some of the, pictures or articles that I share with them. I do see
hmm,
that sense of pride, but they're not very open about it.
yeah, it will take some time for them, right? Okay. So I think these were all the questions that we had for today's session. So
Okay, great.
thank you for taking your time out and speaking about it. And definitely, people are of so many good things they are saying. Like they had really enjoyed this conversation. This conversation really helped them. So,
Yep.
and I too have learned so much from this session personally. So that is really very enriching session. Thank you for doing that. So I think another question that the same person has asked, who has asked about the family,
Mm-hmm.
um, sorry, who wants to disclose to their parents. So the person has said, I'm taking baby steps to reach out to my parents. And the other, when I spoke about the gay thing, my mom wondered what about child.
What about child? I mean, it's up to you if you want to have a kid or not. And I mean, you can adopt. Please adopt. There are so many kids who are wanting and, who are out there to be adopted and find a loving home. So go ahead and adopt. So if questions like this come, what about child? So even if you're married, even if you're straight, if your wife is not able to conceive, what do you do? I mean, life always has challenges. Life will throw challenges at you. It's about how you really take that forward and, put it in your stride and move forward with that. So here, if you're talking about being gay and looking for a child, go ahead and adopt a child. Give that child enough love. I think that's what child really needs, all the love, attention, support, and care, right? So if anybody can give, why not? So have those conversations with your parents and be honest. And it's really nice to know that after you talking about being gay, your mom's worried. I mean, mom's thinking about, oh my God, what about a child? Right? So at least she's not thinking about you being gay and all of that. She's thinking, okay, bacha kahan pe hoga? So it's kind of like an acceptance in some form that your mom has, like, okay, you're gay, but then what about the child? So you can always say, give examples. You have Karan Johar, though he's not officially gay or he's not called himself gay, but there are single parents.
Right.
Right? You have Shushmita Sen, you have Karan Johar, you have people who we can really role model and take some of those, conversations forward, saying that if they can do, why can't I really do? I can also do it. So bring those conversations, and go forward with that.
So that's all for the questions. There are no more questions. Thank you so much, Suresh, for taking your time out and educating our viewers and me about it. So thank you so much.
All right, great. Thank you so much, Ashima and Pranjal, to invite me for this. Really, really appreciate it. I hope everybody enjoyed it. And if you'll have any questions, reach out to me on Insta. More than happy to help and support. And even if you all have anything, please let me know. More than happy to help and support there as well. So thank you so much and have a great rest of the day. Happy Diwali, advanced Diwali. Stay safe.
You too.
And be healthy.
Same wishes for you as well. Happy Diwali to you too, and you also stay safe.
Thank you. Take care. Bye bye.
Bye bye. Thank you.